Get excited, AFTERBUZZers. You're here to see the Married at First Sight After Show. We are talking Trust, Episode 9. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
I don't think he started with the "It's all or nothing," so I could do. I could do that
earlier. Literally, whenever I hear the theme song, I only hear Heather. It's all or nothing.
I know every other word, but I'll withhold that so we can get started. Welcome to the Married at First Sight After Show. We're super excited to talk about trust. That was a key theme tonight. And yeah, lots to talk about. So as usual, I will get us started. Hi, it's me, Heather Yerrid. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Heather Yerrid. And to my left, Desola. Where can they find you, darling?
Hi, it's me, Desola Balogun. You can all find me at Desola_B. And to my left, who do I have?
I guess I need to know. Hi, it's Ally Nasta. You can find me on Twitter at Ally Nasta and on Instagram at Ally Girl.
So
you know, I mean, it was like a little bit more of like a serious episode tonight, so I thought maybe we'd start with a serious vibe, you know, set the tone a little bit, set the tone. I just want to say from the gate, I love the way that they are producing season 5. Mm-hmm. Much different than the former seasons. What do you guys think about that?
I didn't notice that on my own, but as soon as you brought that up, I am noticing it flows a little bit more naturally and not so broken up into segments like you had mentioned. It's not like you said, we're moving in, we're meeting the family, we're doing this. Like, we did that, but it was a little bit more flowy and not forced.
Yes, it's almost like we're literally seeing what each couple would do in their dynamic, because it is much different. I mean, let me jump ahead a little bit and we'll go back to it, but we have Nate and Sheila, pizza contests, phenomenal, by the way. We have a lot of grocery shopping, we have a lot more people working, we have a lot more people just doing dinners and then having intimate conversations. Regardless, it seems more authentic and more organic, and I'm loving that.
Yeah.
I'm loving every bit of that. So to get started, Duhan Dynasty, we cut to what we ended with last episode, which is them talking about the trust, okay, and how much they trust each other. I just want to cut to the main point without going through all the details. The company your significant other keeps, would that bother you?
Okay, so I will say I understand what Sheila is saying and I get where she's coming from. Only because she has seen Nate's friends who she says are not single act very single, which means she's seen them do things.
They're not single, act very single. Yeah. Okay, sorry.
Which means that she's seen them do things that they are definitely not supposed to be doing. So that one is fair. You know, it doesn't seem like she's just nagging. That one is fair. It's kind of like, okay, these are your homies. Nate's mentioned how he was like, he's so
Dewey
smooth
Daddy or whatever.
Yeah, you know, he's so smooth and whatnot. So I wouldn't be surprised if he was like his friends, you know? So I get where she's coming from with that. She's like, okay, if your friends are sitting there cheating on their significant others, what makes me think that you're not going to cheat on me? Especially if you are Mr. Smooth, who says all of the smoothest things that you think are smooth that really aren't, you know? So I get it. It's fair. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I completely think it's fair that she's feeling that way, because it is... You kind of, when you're just meeting someone, if they're surrounded by people that act that way, you can't only help but think, do you act that way when I'm not around, kind of thing? Especially because it's so fresh in this relationship. So I think it's fair that she brought it up. But what I do like and respect is that she brought it up. Most people would think that, but not actually say it. They would be like, he would say, so why a 6? And most people would just sit there and say, I don't know, I just feel like I wouldn't trust you in certain situations, and not actually bring out specific examples like Sheila did with Nate's friends.
And we are seeing that with both of the other couples. So Danielity and A Squared, I think we're seeing a lot of people not actually saying what they want to say. Again, jumping a little bit ahead, Danielle finally calls Cody out for not getting the details of the wedding. So I think we're seeing that with both of the other couples. So that's something I love about Nate and Sheila. They are saying that, they are being honest, and it's showing. Every single thing that they're doing is showing. So I don't know about you guys, but Danielity, I was expecting after that dinner and that, are you guys ready to tell everybody what they're dying to hear, that they have a ghost?
Man, I was so mad. I was like, you guys don't go sit down. And then this is what got me. She says, I was way too tired to have sex last night.
What did you think of that?
That's complete bullcrap because she's been complaining the entire time about how much she wants to have sex. And let me tell you something: when you can have sex with someone for the first time, you're not feeling tired. You know what I mean? You're feeling something. So there's a reason why she did not do it.
Well, definitely,
obviously, especially from what she ends up saying at the end. But we'll get there.
Yeah, and I think that with that, she wants to have physical feelings for her husband. I'm like quoting that literally. She said something along those lines that she wants to have physical feelings. So the physical feelings are not there. I just do want to say on Twitter, she did say in response to another fan, maybe, appreciate the support. Will never apologize for not having sex before my heart's there. I don't think anyone should have to, with a little thing. So I agree. Is this editing that we're seeing that they didn't start showing us that she wasn't attracted to him till episode 8, and now we're kind of being like, I think so. I think this is how she's felt from the gate, and before it did not come off that way, so it seems a little bit different. So I'm not necessarily bothered by it. I agree with her, but it is, it's very... I don't think this is an element of trust. I know this episode is about trust, but I don't think it's that Danielle doesn't trust Cody. I think we're again dealing with another couple, which is gonna happen, that's not attracted to each other. I don't think that attraction is there for Danielle at all, especially with her strong push for leadership skills.
I think the attraction does have to play with the things that she doesn't think Cody's doing. And I think that it's just kind of been this spiral of unfortunate events that she can't help but look at the negatives in certain situations, because it's like, when someone has kind of let you down in a certain scenario, it's so easy to continue to look at those negatives. But then again, we did see them have some good times in this episode.
Like the whiteboarding.
The whiteboard and them washing the dogs. And so it just stinks because the way that it is played out in this episode, it does look like she is the negative one, and I hate to say that because I know she's hopefully trying and everything, but right now it's like we're not seeing her put in the effort that we're seeing Cody put in for this relationship to work.
I just feel bad because I feel like when I'm watching it, I feel bad for Cody because he's trying so hard. He's like trying to please this lady who doesn't really seem like she even wants to have anything to do with him. Not always, but you know what I mean. And I feel like, when you're dating someone, that is supposed to be the one person that you can be like yourself 100% around, more than your family, more than anyone. That's the person where you're supposed to just be able to do whatever and say whatever and feel however you want to feel and not feel judged. But with Cody, it's like 100% opposite.
Yeah, he feels like, judged. He said that.
Yes, he said it numerous times, and he's like nervous all the time. It almost seems like Danielle's his mom, and he's afraid to disappoint his mom, and like if he knows he's gonna get in trouble. You know what I mean?
Very good comparison
that's
there.
What I
never
feel.
I never thought of it that way, but that's very I see that alignment 110.
Right.
It's just, to me, what really stuck out about Danielle is you see Cody putting in a lot of effort. We really do see that.
Right.
And to me, where he's like, I'm really trying. I think he's trying too hard. He's doing the cooking, he's doing the cleaning, he's walking the dogs, he's paying for things, he's building this stuff at home. That's where I go back to being old-fashioned with roles. So to me, it's not even. It's just that he is just really trying to go above and beyond. And I'm not going to say that she's not trying. I'm going to say it in a way that she has good boundaries. She's doing what she thinks she needs to do in this relationship, and clearly there's an imbalance there.
One thing I am going to disagree with you on is I did hear that she has like a 2-hour commute to and from work. It's like an hour and a half or 2 hours. So I'm thinking if she's in, like, she's a nutrition, so she has to leave for at the house at 5 in the morning, I'm assuming, to get to work on time. And that's not even to say, if you have to leave the house by 5 to get to work, and that's probably the latest she probably would have to leave if it's 2 hours, and I'm thinking that's usually an early job. You have to get ready for work. What?
Go ahead. Finish your thought. Finish your thought.
Keep going. Yeah, keep going.
You have to get ready for work. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
I thought you were going to continue. No. So basically, you have to get ready for work. So maybe let's say she's waking up at 4:30 or 4 o'clock. Even if I'm just kind of giving that.
Go ahead, keep
window.
going. Yeah, very good.
So if she has to leave, and then say she's working a full day and maybe getting off at 5 or 6 o'clock at night, who knows? Then she's getting home around, let's say 7:30, 8:30 at night.
Wow.
No. She said 2-hour commute.
To and
both way, all together.
No, I thought it was to and from.
No. I'm pretty sure it's all together.
Either way, I don't know, but
And all I'm gonna say is
you're
we
saying a
live in
really
LA,
good point.
but we
You have
live
a
in
really good
LA.
point.
People get used to it. I mean, it's an hour
No, but
and a
what
half
I'm
to go
saying
anywhere.
is if Cody's off work at 6 and it only is a 30-minute commute,
Yeah, then
he's
there's
home
a
at
big
6:30, he has time to do all that stuff.
Yes.
Say if she, rather than when she's getting home at 8:30, I've been there before where like you get home and you're just like,
So have I.
you're like so checked out, you're like, I just want to go to bed. Like that's all I can think about. I just want to eat, I want to shower, I want to go to bed. And it has nothing to do with the other person.
Yeah.
It has solely what to do with like you're exhausted because even though we have this commute and everything, when you're in a new relationship and you're like she had mentioned, you're in a new relationship, you just moved into a new house, you're getting used to new boundaries, you're getting used to like all this new stuff going on. It's exhausting. So I think one thing I will say, even though I do think she has been negative this episode, I think she's just tired and it's affecting the way she can treat this experience.
Yes, I agree 100%. You keep having some facial expressions. There's something going on in the live chat. Join us in the live chat. I didn't say it, neither did Jay Shola.
I have a couple, but I will read the chats. I guess I get what you're saying, but I do agree with you that he's trying like so hard that it's setting him up negatively because I look at it like this. Let's say they do work out.
Yeah.
Danielle's already going to have the upper hand because he's always trying to please her. Not the other way around. It's not like she's not trying to please him. He's trying to please her. And that just doesn't work out to me because in the long run, it's like she's always going to be the one that he is always just like being the mom and like telling him what he needs to do. And he's always going to be like nervous and he doesn't want to not make her angry.
I mean, he stepped up. This time. We see it by the end of the episode. He says like, I wrote it down. I'm really big on like getting things exact these days. So a part of you doesn't want it to work. So I was very surprised to see Cody felt like, I feel like a part of you doesn't work. I respect the fact that she was honest and she said, I don't know how I feel. So we see that very quickly he is getting tired.
Yeah.
And we see it in their dynamic and everything. I just think I'm going to be very surprised if they're still together. Let's just put it that way.
Okay, well, let's go to the chat real quick.
Talk to us.
Since you brought it up.
Yes.
Deidre Rickus. It's funny, she brought up this right when I said it, so what a coincidence. She says, it feels like she's raising a son, not sharing her life with her husband. He's a good guy, just needs to cook a little more. He needs to cook a little more, or she needs to cook a little more? Please respond to that because he was the one cooking. We haven't seen her cook.
He's a good guy, just needs to cook a little more.
So, who?
I'm sure she'd cook meant something else.
Let us know what you thought.
Yeah.
All right, and then Hope F. Grimm says, these two are hard to figure out. I agree with you. Thanks for shedding some light on their position barriers.
You're very welcome.
Nanette Gutierrez says, regardless of how tiring this process is, if there was a spark between them, we would see it at some point. Oh, that's so right. Because it doesn't matter how tired you are, when you see that person that you're really digging at the time, it's like everything goes out the door.
Yeah.
And you're so happy to see them and you're just like, oh my God, like whatever it is. That's why I say you're never too tired to have sex with someone, especially when it's new. I'm just being honest. You know what I mean?
And we're at 21 days. We were at 21 days, so that's 3 weeks. At 3 weeks, at 3 weeks, if it's hot and heavy at the beginning, that's normally when it dies down, where the person's like, I don't know about this. So they're at 3 weeks and they're still building a relationship. So I'm questioning. I think Pastor Cal said it best. Pastor Cal really said, she's got to let go of her expectations. I'm paraphrasing. She's got to let go of her expectations because holding on to those expectations and trying to fit him into a box is what's preventing her from embracing. But a couple that's not doing that is, again, Duhan Dynasty. So let's talk about Pastor Cal. Yes, let's talk about Pastor Cal visiting them at home to talk about trust and their tug of war.
We have to talk about the drill thing.
We'll get back to it. Well, let's talk about Pastor Cal and his feedback on the trust going on between Nate and Sheila. Because I would not have thought immediately that their issues were about trust. Because I'm kind of not really seeing any issues at all.
No, and I think it's because they're being so open with each other and they're really being able to be honest and talk, and that's kind of making it feel like they're trusting because they're slowly building that. Whether they know that that's what's happening, they're building their trust by being so open with each other. Yes. And so I find it endearing to watch. I'm now watching them like I was watching Anthony and Ashley in the beginning of the season. I'm smiling. I'm obsessed. Nate went to yoga.
Oh my God, that was amazing.
He did a pizza competition. Like this is amazing. What they have going is awesome, and I totally agree. I would love to come home to like laughter and fun and games, and everybody gets along great. And I find that to be easy to watch, and it's very natural, and it's coming across natural.
100%.
What's 100%. Weird is, I mean, like Desola had said it, but we were all wondering if that was what's going to happen, because after the first episode, we were all very wary of Nate's intentions, and now those thoughts are not even anywhere near me. I think he is such a great guy.
Well, first of all, Nate, I was always on y'all's team. I knew y'all were serious from the gate. I think that the fact that we see the vulnerability, Pastor Cal said it's vulnerability. You have to open up, talk about your insecurities. They're forcing each other to do it, and that communication is exactly why they're winning. Him at yoga was absolutely hilarious.
That was awesome.
He kept cracking up. He kept cracking up and trying not to like totally disrupt the class. I was not surprised, but she was dead serious the whole time. Didn't even catch him laughing. I think I would see him laughing and like, she is serious.
I would start laughing too if I saw. I'd be like, stop it! Like I go here weekly. Let's not do this.
Kudos to Nate also, because yoga kind of sucks. Like if you're not into it.
Yes.
Like I hate yoga actually. So the fact that he would even not really just the word.
I had an experience one time where I went to the gym and like I went to like where there was all these classes, and I went and they made you do this like thing on the side, which I'd never done, and I was like by the window and like, I kept falling on my face.
You know, like
it's
people
really hard.
And I don't understand, because people say, "Oh, yoga is so soothing," and I'm just like, I don't see anything soothing about yoga at all.
It's hard. It's
like,
once you like get to know how these things work. But yeah.
And by the way, cook means cook equals not ready for marriage equals needs to experience life a little more. Life on his own, not at mom's.
Got it. Yes.
Never heard that term.
Thank you for that clarity. Thank you for that clarity very much. And again, I think that we're seeing what's unique though is that Nate and Cody are similar ages, right? I think so.
Yes.
They're around the same age.
And Cody's 26.
Yeah, but there is a very big difference, and I really think that has to do with upbringing and experiences overall. And I'm very surprised that Nate is so open to trying new things with Sheila. I mean, we're really seeing, that's what I meant by the production. Yeah. They are literally going and doing these things that other couples are not. They're doing activities, they're taking the advice and experiencing different things. Yeah. And I'm digging it.
Yeah, and
I'm digging it.
And it's awesome because last season we saw a lot of in the house. It was like, get out of the house.
Yes.
Not everybody is just cooped up in their living room day after day having serious conversations like about like pillow talk. You know?
Yeah, and I think that might be like
New
what
editors.
Really, well, yeah, it's definitely because Lifetime took it over instead of FYI.
Because the editing
But
is all
it's the production company.
I think
it's all editing though, because think about it. They shoot all of this stuff, and you choose at the end. There's so much footage.
Right.
At the end, you choose what you're going to use.
But I'm wondering if it's because these couples are actually in love. They're actually doing things outside of the house that aren't forced. You know what I mean?
Tom and Lillian didn't get out of the house too much because they were too busy getting busy. Remember how hot and heavy they were in the beginning. So I think that was the one big difference. Eric and Heather didn't even count, but I mean before that, I do think it's the same production company, but I do think because Lifetime is now the network that they had more hand as well in what was being shown, and we again are really seeing the dynamics and how couples are interacting. Now, A Squared, this was a unique episode for them. Anthony had the work trip in Vegas, which we see that Anthony stayed at home in the hotel and he took a video of it and was very good. I thought that was when I heard
we
Vegas.
We only saw 2 seconds. We don't know what he did. Anthony could have been out there at the strip club, at the hustle, like, hey. I mean, we don't know.
They would have caught that. They totally would have caught that, wouldn't they? Were you guys surprised at their dynamic this episode?
No. Like, in which way surprised, though? Like, you meaning...
Well, exactly what you said initially. Like, they have been painted originally as this very perfect, like, oh, we both have our roles, we both do this, and we are blending. We are now seeing more... What's the right word, guys? Help me out with that.
Confrontation?
Maybe confrontation. I wouldn't say conflict, but confrontation or maybe honesty. Yeah. Like, I think ever since Ashley experienced what she did with Rachel, now she's on the defense. It's like, are you telling me the truth? She said something very unique. I can't figure out if Anthony's telling me what I want to hear.
So glad you brought that up, because last week she was like flipping out on Rachel. Like, oh my God, I'm so mad that Rachel did that. But then this week we saw that Anthony kind of insinuated that he brought it up in a way, you know what I mean? Because he didn't deny anything that Ashley was saying to him. And he was like, yeah, she did say that maybe I didn't have to do this or that. So obviously it was something that was brought up, you know?
Yeah.
So it's good to know and see the other side, because at first it just looked like it just came out of nowhere and we didn't know. And I'm like, he had to have said something, because she doesn't know anything. She's checking in with them. How is she supposed to know what's going on unless they're telling her or asking her questions, you know?
Yes.
So it's good to see that. And he also was being more honest. And like at the end when he said, no, you're not always happy, or you don't always smile. You know? So,
and that's causing her to get more frustrated. What's interesting is we're starting to see where she did call him out and say, are you telling what I want to hear? But they're not doing like, they are not acting as a couple as like Duhan Dynasty are. So A squared, I really do think Anthony is being accommodating. But he said he's been like that his whole life. Hey, pick and choose your battles, which is very good to do in relationships. But he is really, in my opinion, being accommodating right now. But some men, some husbands are like that. Happy wife, happy life. I mean, I think that's amazing. But it can't sustain, because now I feel like Ashley's definitely starting to pick. Do you mean that? Do you not mean that?
Yes.
Did I not smile? Do you not like it?
she gets very defensive. And the thing is, when she says, oh, tell me the truth, but when he tells her the truth, she gets really defensive about it. Like when he said, oh yeah, Rachel did say that. Well, I don't need you to do that stuff for me.
I was so surprised.
But then she was saying that she loves that he does that for her. But then once he said, like, oh yeah, she did say that, she like flipped it all around and was like, oh no, I don't need you to do anything for me. I've been doing it for myself for all these years. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking like, oh, okay. So we see that part of her personality is, she gets a little insecure with things because
she's been so independent.
Yeah.
And she's been raised to be independent.
And I'm thinking maybe, I don't know, maybe in past relationships that's been a thing because she keeps questioning like, wait, so you don't mean that, or do you mean that? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and here's where I'm going to tie it back to Sheila real quick. So when Sheila was meeting with Pastor Cal, because
she loves them.
I want to tie it back to Ashley too, because I caught myself saying when I was watching, I was like, ooh, I do that. So I don't remember exactly what it was, but Nate said he wanted to do something or he liked something. And Sheila goes, and sometimes I doubt that, I'm not sure. And Pastor Cal's like, don't doubt that. You have to take, when he says, hey, let's do it, or hey, I like that, you have to, at least initially, trust that. So I see the exact same thing happening with Ashley and Anthony. We have Ashley being like, well, do you really want to do that? I don't want you to do something you don't like to do. I'm going to take it back to the movie The Breakup. Jennifer Aniston saying to Vince Vaughn at the end, like, it's not about you liking the ballet, it's the person that you love wants to go to the ballet and you're going with them. I have that same issue where I want to do something. Oh, what do you want to do, babe? What do you want to do? Even if it's my thing, I carry this like guilt. Like, well, if you really don't want to do it, don't do it. And I think that that's what's happening here. So saying like maybe it's past relationships, to me, to answer that and what may be going on here, I would say that it is, because if your partner is participating in something deep down that they don't want to, it isn't uncommon for them to throw that in your face. Well, I did this for you, so I don't know why. It's almost like used as like a compromise.
Yeah.
So I could see that's what I was feeling might be happening here. But what's awesome again about this episode is we're seeing really authentic experiences that real people in relationships go through. 100%. I think with A Squared and Duhan Dynasty for sure.
I think I like that you just kind of gave that insight about like how you are also, because it made me start to think, well, you know what? Maybe it's a good thing, like what you're saying, it's a good thing that they're honest, because as couples, couples grow. And you learn, just when you're friends with someone or a couple or anything, you start to grow and you start to get into things that you never liked before or that you didn't think you'd like. So it could be a growing experience. So I guess they are kind of hindering themselves a little bit by asking, well, do you really want to do this? Because Anthony, I think the way he's going into it is kind of good. He's like, well, he said, I just do it with like a happy face or a smile on my face, and then if he likes it, he likes it. If not, he doesn't.
Yes.
But he was willing to go and try.
Yes.
So I think that's what's even with Nate in the yoga. So that's what's really important behind all this.
For sure.
Well, yeah, because you can go ahead and try those things, and then later you can be like, yeah, I don't like that, I'm never going again. And like, I think the one thing is that you have to be open with is in a relationship is not getting mad about people for not liking things that you don't like.
Yes.
And I think that because this situation is so different that they're trying to make sure it's like, they're like, obviously they feel like they have to try too hard, but like you're not gonna like the same things as your partner. That's just like, it's not always gonna be like that, and like there are gonna be times where you're gonna do things on your own, but I think it's just so hard for them sometimes to realize that because they are in this like
accelerated
stimulated situation.
Yes.
So it's so hard, and that's why sometimes I just have to sympathize with them so much, because I know if I were in a situation like this, I would not even know where to start or where to begin. And I think that sometimes we've seen in this show, the couples go super fast, and then that gives them a roadblock, because then they're like, oh man, like that just like went so fast, it was so fun and happy, and then they come into a difficult situation or something they disagree upon, and they think that that's the end of the world when it's not.
Yes, and when Ashley was meeting with her girlfriends and they asked about the sex department, she was like, we have no complaints there. So again, are we seeing a Tom and Lillian effect from last season, where it's like they're killing it, and Anthony is hitting it off with her because he's not necessarily saying, oh, I don't like this, or this is offending me. He's picking his battles, but now they're starting to hit a little bit of like, well, wait a minute. Are you telling me the truth? Are you not? Are you telling me what I want to hear?
See, with Anthony and Ashley, though, I think that they're going to be realizing all this stuff in their head and be like, oh, you know what? And I think they're going to have this open conversation about it. I see that happening for them. Like, I don't think they're going to keep it inside, because you can tell they both genuinely like each other.
Yes.
And so I don't think that they would try to hurt any of that, because they both really want this to work.
I believe that.
And they like that companionship, and so I don't think they would want to try to mess anything up by just keeping their feelings deep down.
So do you think, we're talking about Danielle and Cody, I kind of want to go back into the drill piece and the leadership aspect. So we're saying this about the other two couples, but are we seeing Danielle and Cody be that honest, which is why they're not working out? I mean, Danielle is saying like, I need more leadership skills, which a part of me, I want to ask y'all about that too. Like, I'm a business person. I've been told that I bring business like lingo into my relationship, and it's annoying, but like, I don't even use the term leadership. I'm very like, I don't know how I feel about this push to have leadership skills in the relationship. Does that rub either y'all wrong way, or is that just something personal with me?
Okay, you know it rubs us the wrong way, because she's been rubbing us the wrong way with the things that she's saying to him from the beginning. I just feel like, first of all, I had a lot of things to say. Now I don't even know what's okay. Because we were talking about that, and then you brought that up.
Yeah.
First of all, when it comes to them, I feel like the drill. Why couldn't you just help him if you knew? Like he's sitting there having a hard time, and I felt for him. He's like, look, I was not close to my dad, but as a very quiet person, like I was very close to my mom. You know, I can relate 100%. Exact same story. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, so I'm sitting there, you know, watching and kind of getting irritated, because I understand what he's going through. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like she's sitting there and just looking at him. And it's like, as a couple, you're supposed to do things together. So if you see he's struggling, say, you know what, I know how to do that, or let's try it together. Don't just sit there and look at him.
Yeah, that was frustrating to me, because when I love IKEA sets, like I love putting it together. Like, it's something that I love.
First time I've heard that in my life.
I love putting things together. Whenever I get like even my friends will get like a piece of furniture, like I'll put it together for them. I find it so intriguing and fun. So when I was like sitting in the edge of my seat thinking like, I just wanted to grab it from him and like help him, and I think it was just kind of weird to me that, okay, guys are supposed to have the tools, but like if someone is struggling, like that's a natural, I guess that's just like, I don't know if that's a personal thing, but for me it's a natural like urge to help somebody. If they're struggling, I don't like to see people struggle. So if they are, I'd be like, do you not know how to use a drill, babe?
That's cute.
Like, let me help you. And like, I would find it funny and endearing.
See, now, I see both of your all's perspectives, but I do want to make note. I made sure to listen very closely in that moment, because I wanted to watch to see if she offered any type of support. She did say the words, "You're doing a great job." She did say that. You're doing so good to try, because I think she could see that he was nervous, but is that Cody not letting her help? I mean, I don't know how to put together a drill either. I don't think she does. But like, if she doesn't know how to do it, she ain't gonna jump in. But also, if he's like, I didn't want her to help, I'm sure like, I know my boyfriend would not let me. I know he would not let me jump in. Like if I did that, I think he would be even more offended. If I was like, "Babe, let me take the drill," like no, like this is, like I don't know.
But why can't people?
Why can't it be a two-way street?
You know what? The problem is this: people put too much pressure on what a man is supposed to do and the lady is supposed to do, and it's like, just let people be who they are. That's the problem with people, because it's like,
though.
It's like if you let people be who they are, then it's just like
Totally.
It's just frustrating. You know what I mean? I can't even really say what I get all the thoughts through because it's just kind of like, why not just let it be what it is? It's like look, if you're better at freaking putting crap together and you like it, and I'm better at cooking, then that is what it is. Like, who cares? Like,
A squared does go with that.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know
They do
what
good
I
with
mean?
that. Yeah.
It's like.
And that's something that, like, no matter what it is, no matter if it has to do with the gender roles or whatever, I think at the end of the day, you're a couple and you're doing things together. So it should never be something where you're shunning someone because, no, I'm going to do that. Like, no, I mean, yeah, if you want to, I mean, that's fine, but it also should be about who likes to do things more. Like for me in my relationships, I tend to like to do that stuff. So I'm like I might get defensive in the fact like I can do it too. Like I want to do it. It's okay.
Yeah.
So she might be offended like just because I'm a girl doesn't mean I can do it.
I was like,
can't
Ashley,
do it.
like
See,
Ashley.
and it's like, well, it's not even that. It's more so like. Well, maybe it is. Maybe I do. I'm like wondering, like, maybe
Yes.
I was
Oh,
like
it totally
that.
is. It
but
totally
also,
is.
well, it's because I've had like in past relationships where they're like, oh no, let me help you, and I'm like, I can watch a YouTube tutorial. I can read the directions. I can figure it out.
I'm so the opposite. I'm like, because I normally do, I'm like, oh no, show me.
See, I like this though. I like independent people. I really cannot stand people who are like, I'm not in it. Like it drives me crazy. Like that's one of my biggest pet peeves. People who always ask, like for one time when
I never ask,
like,
so now I try to really ask a lot.
Okay.
I do everything myself, so I like those moments where I can be like, no, you do it.
See,
like,
I find it annoying though. I find it annoying like the people who always want like need help. So the fact that you said like I can watch a YouTube tutorial, that's great to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like stop asking for help. Like just.
You know what's really funny is now that you got my brain churning, and I'm like, oh my gosh, because some guys don't like that. They don't like
most
when
guys don't like
They don't
that.
like when
Just saying.
people are independent or can do things on
women.
their
You can say honey. You can
own.
say women. You're so cute.
And so-
You say people. No, it's women.
You're right. No, you're right. It's true.
women. I mean,
a lot
this
of
is the
guys,
story of
they
my
want,
life.
They want a submissive woman who's just in. And I've said this so many times. I don't like that. I think it's so irritating. Like I want you to have
so strange
a mind
'cause
of your own.
Some people, that's actually a
Most
huge
men don't
like
like
they
it.
they don't like that
But
quality.
it's like why do you need to feel like I've come in contact with women who are like I met this girl one time who like would not stop agreeing with what I had to say against her best friend, and I was like, what the excuse my language. I was like, what is wrong with you? Like, why do you feel the need to agree with me? You don't even know me.
Well, she
You
might
know
not
what I
have
mean?
ever based her own opinion. But that's very common.
It was very like
The submissive role.
It was very obvious. You know.
See, that's why with Anthony, for some reason, I don't know necessarily how to put it in the words best, but like there's something about him that I love, and that's why. Like I watch him, and I see, and now that Ashley's coming out of her shell too, I am not as extreme as she is. I'll have to admit, like Ashley to me is like the feminist, and I never thought that because oh my gosh, with her last name, with how very much like she is very like. I don't know how to explain it, but she is. But Anthony receives it well.
Yeah.
He's not that man that's like, I am the man. Maybe with his last name. Yeah, he's not intimidated by it. So that's why I really love him. Like, that is why I'm very drawn to A Square, because, like, Ashley is independent. She makes money. She is someone who, like, really values her own opinion. And he receives that so well. His manhood is not
that's true.
challenged by that.
That's true.
Because
He
why would it be?
didn't.
I mean, most men are very challenged
You know,
by
but
it.
it's like, why would it be? Like, it's
I
okay
agree.
that a lady has a mind of her own.
Yes.
Like to me, I find that attractive. I find the women who are very submissive unattractive.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you can't think for yourself, then like, well, I guess it goes back to me saying I don't like when people always ask for help and things. I think it's really irritating. It's like, come on, have a mind of your own. Can we go to the chats really quick because they're blowing up and we have not been responding. I'm so sorry, you guys. All right, Lynn says Danielle is expecting a lot of Cody, but she's not doing jack. All we hear is how Cody needs to do this and do that, but what is Danielle giving to the relationship? Not a damn thing except complaints. Wow, Lynn is hey, okay.
She is feeling intense about this.
Okay. Nanette Gutierrez says Nate and Sheila are like yin and yang.
Yes,
they fit well in some places, and then where they don't fit, they both seem willing to try things that move them forward. This is great. Allison Lee 86 says the scene with A squared, on the couch. They had a jar with slips of paper in it.
Down.
Yes, you did bring that up.
I said, "What is in that glass jar?"
And she says there are exercises, we just haven't seen them. Which
so it must be exercises that the therapists gave them.
Yeah, the coach. Yeah,
I mean,
therapists.
No, I don't know. They might be therapists, but I think they're coaches.
Editing plays such a large role in this, so there's a lot. I mean, you can. have you edited any of you before?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you know, you can literally
You can chop out
you
anything.
can make an entire storyline out of something that was never meant to be.
Yeah.
You know, so we really don't know what's going on, which is why I understand why like some of the people on the show respond to us and they like defend themselves, because it makes sense, because it's kind of like we're just going off what we see, which could be totally...
I wonder if what the jars, like the sheet of paper with the jars thing, is actually them being the couple that's following along with the experts, and then the pizza challenge is Nate and Sheila being like, we don't need those jars, like let's have some pizza. You know what I mean? Because like, well, I know that wasn't an expert's like suggestion. Have a pizza challenge.
Well, was like, do something fun as a family.
Yeah, do something maybe they did that themselves.
That is, I loved everything about that.
Whose pizza looked better?
Oh, totally the brothers.
Freak the Freak.
I like
Sorry.
his looked delicious. It was like perfectly crispy and like the right amount of cheese, the right amount of toppings. I am a pizza fan. Literally, I love pizza.
Domino's or Pizza Hut, or where do you go?
I just like
actually
pizza. Joe's Pizza. There is a Joe's Pizza in like Hollywood and Santa Monica, and it's like stone oven pizza, and it's the best pizza ever.
Yeah, I thought Nate's pizza looked grody. Shrimp and anchovies? Nah, that ain't it. That ain't it. That ain't
Shrimp,
it.
maybe.
That ain't
Seriously, it was making me. I like wanted to eat pizza.
You know, I was curious. I was like, is there? I think the relationship is great either way. I think again, faith has a big part to do with it. But how awesome would it be though to have a third party in your relationship? That really helps a lot with like the dynamic. So I think his brother being in the mix of this, because sometimes, like if some people are awkward or if it
that's
cuts
how
the
it
tension.
is for me. I live with my brother and my sister-in-law.
Okay.
And I'm the third party in the house, and they live together, just them for like years, and then I popped in.
And do they love it? Like, is their dynamic great?
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, sometimes it's weird, you know, because like if, let's say if they are getting like mad or something, you're just sitting there like, and I'm good at like saying things which I shouldn't, so I'll just sit there looking, I'm like, somebody's mad, or you know, saying little comments and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I can see where you're coming from.
But then it brings comedy to the situation, because then you're like, and then she's like, probably like, yeah, I am.
I didn't think about that, but that does make sense, because instead of like them just, let's say if they get mad or something and just walking away and not talking,
there's
if
someone
someone's there, they're like, make a joke out of the situation or something, maybe they do see how dumb it is. Or,
it helps them have an objective opinion.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, when I watched tonight, I was like, in my head, I was like, that's cool. There's a tiebreaker. You know what I mean? They get to that tie, and it just makes it, there's just something about it that's like good. But I thought that pizza challenge was very fun. Now, granted, is that life every day? I don't know. Maybe for them it might be. But if that is, then that's phenomenal. And what I love the best is boom, when she drops it on the table.
Mrs.
Maths history.
Duhan.
Yes, maths history. First time in maths history, we have a lovely lady changing her last name. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a spoiler. We have a married couple. It ain't up for grabs. Like, are you gonna get divorced or stay together? They're staying married.
Cody's in the chats, by the way. He just came in. He said, "Hey, everyone."
Cody. Hey there. They are getting married. Period, point blank. What did you all think of her changing her last name?
I loved everything about it, and I loved what she had to say. I wish I would have written it down, but it was something along the lines of, this isn't the experts, this isn't Married at First Sight, this is me and you doing this together. We are married. This is Mr. and Mrs. Duhan.
Yeah.
Obviously not exactly those words,
I got chills.
but it stuck with me. And I just am so excited to finally see that, because they're in this to win it, and they're in it for the long run, and it's really nice and refreshing to see that so early in the game. Obviously, I'm not saying it's all going to be rainbows and butterflies for the rest of the season. They're going to have challenges, but I love that she wanted to get, like, they both were having issues with trust, and she had mentioned, like, I need to be vulnerable, like, I need to let myself, like trust and love this man. She obviously didn't say those words exactly,
right.
But I'm just saying, she wanted to prove to Nate that she's going to be there for him no matter what, and it was kind of like this huge
amazing.
Trust fall into his arms, and
he loved
he
it.
really even got teared up again. He said, he was like, I'm not going to cry, but like even when he was doing the confessional, which we all know is a different day or time or whatever,
they're away from the other person.
He got teary-eyed again, and I just find that it was so moving and amazing, and I have goosebumps right now.
I want to cut. I don't mean to cut you off, but I want to say before we run out of time, let's talk about him and his mom. That's a big thing that I want to talk about.
That's what I wanted to say. I forgot. Oh my God.
So that was to me shocking. So mom is still frustrated, but we're missing something. I thought I didn't know, but like to me it seemed like because the cameras are there, she's trying to be polite. She was trying to be polite, and he was like, "Don't piss me off."
They have issues.
I don't think they had issues before.
I think that I 100% think they do because.
Ooh, okay.
every scene that she's been in, they've argued, and Nate's like gone in on her. Typically, you don't go in on your mom.
He tried not to.
Yeah, but typically you don't go in on your mom like that. So I almost feel like Nate has had, and this is just me, we don't know if any of this stuff is factual.
Right,
I almost feel like Nate has kind of had a lot of responsibility in his life having to do with his mom, because first of all, he takes care of his brother. I mean, though his brother was coming to school, he takes care of his brother. He called his mom the queen, and then but he also can put her in her place really quick.
Yeah.
That's not.
He's been the quasi husband.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yes,
like something about it is that he's like, don't piss me off. And at the wedding, he like went in on her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And typically, you don't really do that. It depends on the relationship, but it's just there's something about it that is just.
Did you think my question for you guys? Do you think he's frustrated? He said, which I thought was very surprising. This is clearly the best decision I've ever made. That was a pretty bold statement.
Yeah.
You got married at first sight on TV, and that's the best decision you've ever made. Like, I mean, brother, I'd do the same thing, but like that to me was surprising. But mom's negative perspective. Do you think she was being negative, or do you think she was being a realist? Which one?
I mean,
I think it's a little negative.
I think it all depends on like certain personalities, because for me, obviously that's negative. If you're happy and someone's trying to bring you down, that's negativity. You know what I mean? But it's like, obviously people with different personalities think of it differently.
Yeah.
Like she
could be a
said,
skeptic.
she was like, no, that's not how. She said God is the true love maker. You know what I mean? Like you're not supposed to find love without God putting that person in your path.
I think God put the person in the
but that
path.
doesn't make sense, because how does she know if God didn't put her in the path? And
I think God. This is fate. To me.
That's what it seems like.
sense.
It seems like he was drawn to this experience because he felt like, but that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
It's all relative, because it's all based off of personality and how you perceive things.
Do you think she was jealous? Did any of you think it was jealous? Yes, she clearly was jealous of Sheila from Brunch 1.
I don't think it's jealous.
I think she's right, because she said, the mom said, am I still going to be the queen?
Yes.
Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So that is 100%, I agree with you. The mom said, am I still going to be the queen? And it was like, I
think
don't
she
know.
just needs time to adjust as well. Like, I think she's
I think
still
you're being
adjusting.
kind. I think you're being kind. I think she's a great mom, but I think there's a lot of connection there that like you said, there's a heavy reliance, and I think Sheila is going to be strong enough, and clearly Sheila and Nate's relationship is strong enough that they are not going to let that interfere. But the mom, that was interesting. He's like, sit down, and she was like, no. Like, I don't know if that no was really in that moment, but, I was like, that was a really intense no for what we saw. But since we are getting low on time, we only got a few more minutes, we should probably get into some future thinking and talk about predictions.
Your AfterBuzz TV prediction.
All right, so we're going to go super quick with this. I'm just going to say I thought that Cody and Danielle had a breakthrough last episode, but they did not this episode, and I'm not seeing positive vibes from them so far. That's all I'm going to say, and I'm just going to say that there's going to be some conflicts coming up in the next couple episodes. It's not going to be all happy, because I feel like we've seen too much of that, and they obviously got to keep us on our toes for something and put that scary music on. But I'm thinking 2 out of 3, guys.
Okay, I'm going to say Cody mentioned and said that it was hard for him to watch. It was a tad rough to watch this episode. So, Cody, hang in there. Hang in there. You're trying. She's probably trying too. It's a hard process.
Yeah.
I don't know what I think is going to happen, honestly. Though, I will say a lot of the things that I say are going to happen. Heather, you might have been right, but we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah.
My prediction is I think we're going to see more honesty between A squared.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to see more honesty between A squared. Not necessarily conflict, but the couples together being more authentic. Nate and Sheila, I think that we are going to see conflict. Spoiler alert, it's already in the previews from next time. And Danielle, I actually think they're going to get closer next episode. I'm going to stay to my prediction and say they're going to have sex next episode.
Oh.
I've been wrong every time.
Okay, then maybe I'm back to 3-3.
I'm still going to say that.
Cody and Danielle, I'm rooting for you.
To end it all, thank you so much, AfterBuzzers, for joining us on the Married at First Sight After Show. And good morning to some of you. We love you. We're glad you joined. You can find me, Heather, on Instagram and Twitter at Heather Yerrid. Where can they find you?
You can find me, Desola Balogun, at Desola_B. And I just got to say, Ally and I decided that we're going to get married at first sight before the show. So look out for that.
And hey guys, it's Ally Nasta. You can find me on Twitter at Ally Nasta and on Instagram at Ally Girl.
Don't forget to comment on YouTube this week. We'll be responding to you. See you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.